How's it going, guys? My name is Noble, welcome back to the channel, and in today's video, I'm going to be making the case for why the Sith Assassin / Jedi Shadow does not need a nerf. I know this is something that hasn't been going around in the sense that, like, the devs haven't been talking about it because, let's be honest, they gave them a DPS buff, which is desperately needed, but I've been reading in the forums lately, I forget who posted it exactly, I don't really pay attention to names when I read them, but, like, there was one post that was saying you can't be able to, or you shouldn't be able to, you know, off guard, do a ton of damage, and cloak out because it makes games so hard to play and they're unkillable. And I think that is the worst possible argument to make for the Sith Assassin and Jedi Shadow to get a nerf. And here's why. First of all, they are in the top 3 of the most squishiest classes in the game. I would say PT and Sniper are definitely the top 2, but Sin comes up as a very close 3rd. Honestly, it could be even number 2 depending on, you know, like some people's, you know, skill level, but overall, Sin is in the top 3. Sin Shadow, top 3 most squishiest classes to play. Do they put out a lot of damage? Yes, they do. They're supposed to. They're assassins. They're supposed to be quick coming out of stealth, doing a lot of damage, and then they, like, retreat, or they get killed, or globaled, or whatnot. Dealing with a Sith Assassin and a Jedi Shadow, especially in ranked, is very easy to deal with. You net them when they're low, so they have to use their breaker to stealth out, but that like, CC break does not negate the electronet, so they will be coming out of stealth relatively quickly, and they'll be caught with their pants on and they'll be dead. Well, okay, what if they don't have an electronet on, or what if they take the utility that gives them, you know, Force Shroud on Cloak? That just means they get to reset the fight, and they're not going to have a lot of CDs on their next time around. So keep that in mind if you're having, like, a difficult time trying to kill a Shadow or an Assassin. But this whole argument that DPS shouldn't be able to off guard and taunt is ridiculous, mainly because there's just not a popular enough tank, you know, place here in the ranked scene. Not that a lot of DPS off guard. I know some guildies that do off guard, and I do sometimes just because I want to win the game. You can't make that a tank only ability because of some other, you know, like PvE issues. You'd also just have to change how the class, you know, abilities are laid out fundamentally. It's like when they tried to take away, or they actually took away, when they took away Phase Walk from the Sin. Granted, that was not an ability that they always had, so this would be a completely game-changing, you know, effect had they, you know, removed, you know, guard from a DPS. I think that is ill-advised. I don't think there should be any kind of change to the Assassin. If there is, it needs to be a little bit more tanky. Even if we go and talk about the Sith Assassin tanks, it's so hard to Sin tank in PvP, in competitive ranked. In regs, people are so bad in regs that you can literally tank with a popsicle stick and do so much better than any other DPS on your team. It's not that hard to tank in regular war zones, but when it comes to Sin tanks in ranked, they just don't have enough in their kit. You know, granted, you know, PT's got a buff in the sense that, like, they have things like Firefall, and, you know, with how that, you know, interacts with, like, power yield and stuff, so, like, that helps out tanks and PT DPS, but, like, Sins really need, tanks anyway, need a rework in that spec. But I honestly was mostly making this video to talk about the DPS specs of the Sith Assassin and Jedi Shadow, because, guys, they're really squishy. They're very, very squishy. And if you know how to deal with them, stun and CC, you're going to be able to cancel them from the game. Even really good ones. You might not be able to cancel them, but you might be able to minimize their effect that they have on the game. And I know this was a shorter video, but, like, playing on a Sith Assassin and Jedi Shadow and like thinking that you're underpowered, you might be in the sense that you don't live a long time, but people who are calling for a nerf is ridiculous. And I'm sorry for the terrible, terrible, terrible Shadow gameplay in the background. I literally just recorded it, you know, because I needed B-roll for this video, and I'm working on my assassin that I actually care about, and they're nowhere near ready to be shown on the channel. So this is a meme. This is a total meme Shadow. I just needed it for B-roll. You guys know. Life of a YouTuber, dude. What can I say? It's crazy. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think. Do you think Assassins need a buff? Do you think they need a nerf? Do you like where they are right now? What are your experiences in dealing with Assassins and Shadows? I want to hear about it all. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.